Question 1. Which ancient civilization built a large wall in northern England to defend their territory? A. The Vikings, B. The Romans, C. The Anglo-Saxons, D. The Normans. Answers is B. The Romans. Hadrian's Wall was built by the Romans in northern England to protect the Roman province of Britannia from barbarian tribes to the north. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a significant historical landmark. Question 2. What was the language spoken by the Anglo-Saxons that is the basis of modern English? A. Latin, B. Gaelic, C. Old English, D. Norse. Answers is C. Old English. The Anglo-Saxons, who in Britain from northern Europe around 450 AD, spoke a Germanic language called Old English. This language forms the foundation of modern English, with many of its basic words and grammatical structures still in use today. Question 3. From which region did the Vikings primarily originate before raiding and settling in Britain? A. France and Spain, B. Scandinavia, C. Germany and Netherlands, D. Russia and Poland. Answers is B. Scandinavia. The Vikings were seafaring people from Scandinavia, present-day Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, who raided and settled in parts of Britain from the late century, leaving a significant impact on its culture and language. Question 4. In which year did William the Conqueror successfully invade England? A. 1056, B. 1077, C. 1066, D. 1088. Answers is C. 1066. William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, invaded England in 1066, leading to the Battle of Hastings and the establishment of the Norman dynasty. This event profoundly changed English language, culture, and governance. Question 5. What significant document, signed in 1215, limited the power of the king and established early legal rights? A. The Bill of Rights, B. The Great Charter of Liberty, C. Magna, D. The Petition of Right. Answers is C. Magna. Magna, signed by King John in 1215, was a foundational document in English constitutional law. It established principles that the king was subject to the law and guaranteed certain rights, influencing many future legal systems worldwide. Question 6. Who was the first Tudor monarch of England? A. Henry, B. Elizabeth, I. C. Henry, D. Edward. Answers is C. Henry. Henry became the first Tudor monarch after winning the Battle of Field in 1485, ending the Wars of the Roses. His reign marked the beginning of a powerful and influential dynasty in English history. Question 7. Which English monarch established the Church of England, separating from the Roman Catholic Church? A. Elizabeth, I. B. Henry, C. Mary, I. D. James, I. Answers is B. Henry. King Henry separated the Church of England from papal authority in the, primarily to annul his marriage. This act led to the English Reformation and profound changes in religious and political life in England. Question 8. Who was Queen of England when the Spanish Armada was defeated in 1588? A. Mary, I. B. Elizabeth, I. C. Victoria, D. Anne. Answers is B. Elizabeth, I. Queen Elizabeth I reigned during the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, a significant naval victory that England's independence and marked a high point in her reign. Question 9. Which king was during the English Civil War? A. James I. B. Charles I. C. Charles D. James. Answers is B. Charles I. King Charles I was in 1649 after his defeat in the English Civil War, a conflict between Parliament and the Crown. This period saw England become a republic under Oliver. Question 10. Who led the parliamentarian forces during the English Civil War and became Lord Protector? A. King Charles I. B. Oliver. C. Sir Francis Drake. D. Guy. Answers is B. Oliver. Oliver was a key military and political leader who served as Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland, and Ireland after the English Civil War. He played a central role in the execution of King Charles I. Question 11. Which major event in London in 1666 destroyed a large part of the city? A. The Black Death. B. The Great Fire of London. C. The English Civil War. D. The Plague of 1665. Answers is B. The Great Fire of London. The Great Fire of London in 1666 much of the city, destroying thousands of homes, cathedral, and many other buildings. It led to extensive rebuilding efforts and improved urban planning. Question 12. What was the Glorious Revolution in 1688? A. A major battle against France. B. The overthrow of King James without significant bloodshed. C. A religious revival movement. D. The establishment of the East India Company. Answers is B. The overthrow of King James without significant bloodshed. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 saw King James by William of Orange and Mary without large-scale conflict. It led to the Bill of Rights 1689, which cemented parliamentary supremacy and limited the monarchy's power. Question 13. Which act passed in 1707 formally united England and Scotland into Great Britain? A. The Act of Supremacy. B. The Acts of Union. C. The Reform Act. D. The Bill of Rights. Answers is B. The Acts of Union. The Acts of Union 1707 were parliamentary acts passed by the Parliament of England and the Parliament of Scotland, uniting them into the single kingdom of Great Britain. Question 14. What major change in manufacturing and transport began in Britain in the century? A. The Digital Revolution. B. The Industrial Revolution. C. The Agricultural Revolution. D. The Scientific Revolution. Answers is B. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, beginning in Britain in the late century, was a period of rapid technological advancement, particularly in machinery, steam power, and factory systems, transforming industry and society. Question 15. Who was the British Prime Minister during most of the Second World War? A. Clement. B. Churchill. C. Chamberlain. D. Herald. Answers is B. Churchill. Churchill served as Prime Minister from 1940 to 1945, and again from 1951 to 1955. He is widely regarded as one of Britain's greatest wartime leaders, guiding the country through World War. Question 16. In which year did the D-Day landings take place? A. 1942, B. 1944, C. 1940, D. 1945. Answers is B. 1944. The D-Day landings occurred on 6 June 1944, when Allied forces launched the largest amphibious invasion in history on the beaches of Normandy, France. This pivotal event marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi control. Question 17. What significant social institution was established in 1948, providing free healthcare? A. The Red Cross, B. The National Health Service, C. The British Army Medical Corps, D. The welfare state. Answers is B. The National Health Service. The National Health Service was established in 1948 by the Labour government. It provides comprehensive healthcare services to all residents, funded primarily through general taxation, based on clinical need, not ability to pay. Question 18. What was the main reason for immigration to the from Commonwealth? A. To escape political unrest, B. To fill labour shortages and help rebuild the country, C. To participate in new cultural exchange programs, D. To establish new trade routes. Answers is B. To fill labour shortages and help rebuild the country. After World War, Britain faced significant labour shortages for rebuilding, and its people from Commonwealth were to immigrate to fill these gaps, contributing significantly to the economy and diverse society. Question 19. What is the official title of the current head of state in the A. President, B. King, C. Prime Minister, D. Lord Protector? Answers is B. King. There is a constitutional monarchy, and the monarch is the head of state. Currently, this is His Majesty King Charles, who ascended the throne in 2022. Question 20. What is the primary role of the monarch in the A. To make laws, B. To act as head of state and a symbol of national unity, C. To lead the government, D. To manage the national economy? Answers is B. To act as head of state and a symbol of national unity. The monarch's role is largely ceremonial, acting as head of state and a symbol of the nation, while political power rests with the elected parliament and government. The monarch undertakes various, including opening parliament and approving legislation. Question 21. Who is the head of government in the A. The King, B. The Prime Minister, C. The Speaker of the House of Commons, D. The Lord Chancellor? Answers is B. The Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the head of government in the They lead the executive branch, chair the cabinet, and are typically the leader of the party that commands the most seats in the House of Commons. Question 22. What is the name of the main elected chamber of the Parliament? A. The House of Lords, B. The House of Commons, C. The Privy Council, D. The House of Answers is B. The House of Commons. The House of Commons is the primary legislative body of the Parliament. Its members, known as Members of Parliament, are directly elected by the public in general elections and represent their. Question 23. What is the function of the House of Lords? A. To elect the Prime Minister, B. To scrutinise legislation and hold the government to account, C. To decide national foreign policy, D. To manage the country's armed forces. Answers is B. To scrutinize legislation and hold the government to account. The House of Lords is the second chamber of the Parliament. Its main roles are to scrutinize bills, provide expertise on various issues, and hold the government to account through debates and questions. It cannot usually block legislation passed by the Commons indefinitely. Question 24. How often are general elections typically held in the A. Every 3 years, B. Every 5 years, C. Every 6 years, D. Every 4 years? Answers is B. Every 5 years. Under the Act 2011, though largely repealed by the Dissolution and Calling of Parliament Act 2022, general elections are usually held every 5 years. The Prime Minister can call an earlier election with a vote of no confidence or a majority in the Commons. Question 25. Which of the following is a devolved government within the A. The London Assembly, B. The Scottish Parliament, C. The Greater Manchester Combined Authority, D. The City of London Corporation? Answers is B. The Scottish Parliament. The Scottish Parliament, the Welsh Parliament Senedd Cymru, and the Northern Ireland Assembly are the 3 devolved legislatures in the, with powers to make laws on specific matters within their respective regions. Question 26. What is the capital city of England? A. Manchester, B. London, C. D. Liverpool? Answers is B. London. London is the capital city of England and the United Kingdom. It is a major global city, known for its history, culture, finance, and tourism. Question 27. What is the highest mountain in Wales? A. Ben Nevis, B. Mount Snowdon, C. Pike, D. Answers is B. Mount Snowdon. Mount Snowdon, known as in Welsh, is the highest mountain in Wales and a popular destination for hikers. It is in National Park. Question 28. Which body is responsible for maintaining law and order in England and Wales? A. The Armed Forces, B. The Police, C. The Local Councils, D. The Fire Service? Answers is B. The Police. The police service is responsible for upholding the law, preventing crime, and maintaining public order across England and Wales. There are various territorial police forces throughout the regions. Question 29. What is a key responsibility of all citizens and permanent residents in the A. To join a political party, B. To obey the law, C. To perform military service, D. To vote in every election? Answers is B. To obey the law. Obeying the law is a fundamental responsibility for everyone living in the, regardless of their citizenship status. It underpins the structure of society and ensures public safety and order. Question 30. What is the national flower of England? A. Thistle, B. Rose, C. Daffodil, D. Shamrock? Answers is B. Rose. The rose has been the national flower of England, for famously associated with the wars of the Roses York and Lancaster, and adopted as a symbol by the Tudors. Question 31. What is the name of the patron saint of England, celebrated on April? A. Andrew, B. George, C. David, D. Answers is B. George. George is the patron saint of England, and his day is celebrated on April. He is often depicted slaying a dragon A symbol of good triumphing over evil. Question 32. Which British scientist developed the theory of evolution by natural selection? A. Isaac Newton, B. Charles C. Stephen Hawking, D. Michael Faraday. Answers is B. Charles. Charles' groundbreaking work on the origin of species, published in 1859, introduced the theory of evolution by natural selection, profoundly impacting biology and our understanding of life on Earth. Question 33. Which famous British playwright wrote Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet? A. Charles Dickens, B. William Shakespeare, C. Jane D. George Bernard Shaw. Answers is B. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, often called England's national poet, is widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language. His plays are performed and studied worldwide. Question 34. What is the name of the river that flows through London? A. River Severn, B. River Thames, C. River Mersey, D. River Clyde. Answers is B. River Thames. The River Thames is the longest river entirely in England and the second longest in the United Kingdom. It flows through London and has been central to the city's history and development. Question 35. Which city is known as the birthplace of the Beatles? A. London, B. Liverpool, C. Manchester, D. Glasgow. Answers is B. Liverpool. Liverpool is famous worldwide as the home of the Beatles, one of the most influential music bands in history. The city celebrates its musical heritage with numerous attractions related to the band. Question 36. Which major sporting event takes place annually at Wimbledon, London? A. The Grand National, B. The Wimbledon Tennis Championships, C. The Far Cup Final, D. The London Marathon. Answers is B. The Wimbledon Tennis Championships. The Wimbledon Tennis Championships are one of the 4 Grand Slam tennis tournaments and are the only major tennis event still played on grass courts. It is an iconic British summer sporting tradition. Question 37. What is the name of the traditional British dish consisting of battered fish and chips? A. Shepherd's pie, B. Fish and chips, C. Full English breakfast, D. Sunday roast. Answers is B. Fish and chips. Fish and chips is a popular takeaway meal in the, traditionally served wrapped in paper. It became a staple meal in the century and remains widely enjoyed. Question 38. What is the meaning of parliamentary democracy in the A. The king has absolute power, B. Power is held by an elected parliament, C. The military rules the country, D. A small group of wealthy individuals makes decisions. Answers is B. Power is held by an elected parliament. There is a parliamentary democracy, meaning that the government is formed from members of the elected parliament and is accountable to parliament, which represents the people. Question 39. What is the role of a jury in a court case? A. To sentence the accused, B. To decide whether the accused is guilty or not guilty, C. To represent the accused, D. To interpret the law. Answers is B. To decide whether the accused is guilty or not guilty. In serious criminal cases, a jury of 12 citizens hears the evidence and decides, based on the facts presented, whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. The judge then applies the law and determines the sentence. Question 40. At what age can citizens in the vote in general elections? A. 16, B. 18, C. 21, D. 17. Answers is B. 18. In the, citizens become eligible to vote in general elections, local elections, and referendums once they reach the age of 18. They must also be registered to vote. Question 41. Which national holiday celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ? A. Easter, B. Christmas Day, C. Remembrance Day, D. Halloween. Answers is B. Christmas Day. Christmas Day on December is a major Christian festival celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. It is a public holiday in the, marked by traditions such as and family gatherings. Question 42. What is the official currency of the United Kingdom? A. Euro, B. Pound sterling, C. Dollar, D. Franc. Answers is B. Pound sterling. The official currency of the United Kingdom is the pound sterling. It is one of the world's major reserve. Question 43. Which Scottish engineer invented the steam engine that was crucial to the Industrial Revolution? A. Alexander Graham Bell, B. James Watt, C. Kingdom, D. George. Answers is B. James Watt. James Watt significantly improved the steam engine in the late century, making it far more efficient and practical. His innovations were fundamental to the widespread adoption of steam power in factories and transportation during the Industrial Revolution. Question 44. What is the name of the national anthem? A. Land of Hope and Glory, B. God Save the King, C. Rule Britannia, D. Jerusalem. Answers is B. God Save the King. God Save the King is the national anthem of the United Kingdom. Its lyrics change to God Save the Queen when the monarch is female. It is sung at various national and international events. Question 45. Which British institution is responsible for broadcasting news and entertainment across the and globally? A. B. The British Broadcasting Corporation, C. Channel 4, D. Sky News. Answers is B. The British Broadcasting Corporation. There is the world's oldest national broadcasting organisation and the largest broadcaster in the world by number of employees. It is funded primarily by the television licence fee. Question 46. Which famous British naval commander defeated the French and Spanish fleets at the Battle of A. Captain Cook, B. Admiral Lord Nelson, C. Sir Francis Drake, D. Answers is B. Admiral Lord Nelson. Admiral Lord Nelson was a celebrated British naval officer who achieved victory over the combined French and Spanish fleets at the Battle of in 1805, though he was fatally wounded during the battle. Question 47. What is the official term for the legislative body of Northern Ireland? A. The Northern Ireland Parliament, B. The Northern Ireland Assembly, C. D. The Council. Answers is B. The Northern Ireland Assembly. The Northern Ireland Assembly, based at Parliament Buildings in Belfast, is the devolved legislature of Northern Ireland, with powers to make laws on a range of local matters. Question 48. Which traditional British sport involves hitting a ball with a bat and running between wickets? A. Football, B. Cricket, C. Rugby, D. Tennis. Answers is B. Cricket. Cricket is a game played between two teams of 11 players on a cricket field. It in England and is popular in many Commonwealth. Question 49. What is the highest court in the for civil and criminal appeals? A. The High Court, B. The Supreme Court, C. The Court of Appeal, D. The Crown Court. Answers is B. The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the final court of appeal in the for all civil cases, and for criminal cases from England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. It also hears appeals from the Court of Session in Scotland on civil matters. Question 50. Which historical building in London is a royal palace, fortress, and prison? A. Palace, B. The Tower of London, C. Westminster Abbey, D. Windsor Castle. Answers is B. The Tower of London. The Tower of London is a historic castle on the north bank of the River Thames. It has served various roles throughout its history, including a royal residence, a prison, and a place of execution. It is guarded by yeoman warders. Question 51. Who granted women the right to vote in the, initially for women over 30? A. King Edward, B. The Parliament Representation of the People Act 1918, C. Queen Victoria, D. The suffragette movement leaders. Answers is B. The Parliament Representation of the People Act 1918. The Representation of the People Act 1918 granted some women the right to vote for the first time in the, specifically women over 30, who met property qualifications. Full equal voting rights for women over 21 came in 1928. Question 52. What is the name of the institution where the Prime Minister resides and works? A. Palace, B. 10 Downing Street, C. Houses of Parliament, D. Whitehall. Answers is B. 10 Downing Street. 10 Downing Street, often referred to simply as Number 10, is the official residence and workplace of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Question 53. What is the purpose of the state opening of Parliament? A. To elect a new Speaker, B. To formally mark the start of a new parliamentary session, C. To announce the budget, D. To prorogue Parliament. Answers is B. To formally mark the start of a new parliamentary session. The state opening of Parliament is a grand ceremony that formally marks the start of a new session of the Parliament of the United Kingdom. The highlight is the King's Speech, outlining the government's legislative agenda. Question 54. Which famous battle in 1815 saw the Duke of Wellington defeat Napoleon? A. Battle of B. Battle of Waterloo, C. Battle of D. Battle of Hastings. Answers is B. Battle of Waterloo. The Battle of Waterloo, fought on 18 June 1815, was the decisive battle of the wars. A coalition under the Duke of Wellington and a Prussian army under Marshal decisively defeated Napoleon Bonaparte. Question 55. What is the traditional name for the day after Christmas Day? A. New Year's Eve, B. Boxing Day, C. Twelfth Night, D. Epiphany. Answers is B. Boxing Day. Boxing Day, celebrated on December, is a public holiday in the. Historically, it was a day for giving gifts to service staff and tradespeople, and today it is often associated with sports and shopping. Question 56. Which famous English novelist wrote Great and Oliver Twist? A. Jane, B. Charles Dickens, C. George, D. Charlotte. Answers is B. Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens is one of the most celebrated English novelists, known for his vivid characters and social commentary. His works like Oliver Twist and Great remain widely read and adapted. Question 57. What is the process called when Parliament formally approves a bill to become an act? A. Royal proclamation, B. Royal assent, C. Parliamentary decree, D. Government mandate. Answers is B. Royal assent. Royal assent is the final stage in the legislative process, where the monarch formally approves a bill passed by both houses of Parliament, turning it into an Act of Parliament law. This is largely a formality in modern times. Question 58. What is the name of the traditional Welsh folk instrument, a type of harp? A. B. Triple harp, C. Fiddle, D. Answers is B. Triple harp. The Welsh triple harp is a traditional folk instrument with 3 rows of strings, making it unique. It is a symbol of Welsh culture and music. Question 59. What is the national animal of Scotland? A. Lion, B. Unicorn, C. Dragon, D. Red deer. Answers is B. Unicorn. The unicorn has been the national animal of Scotland since the century. It is a mythical creature representing purity, innocence, power, and freedom. Question 60. Which historic ship, now a museum in Greenwich, was vital for global trade routes? A. Victory, B. Sark, C. Mayflower, D. The Golden. Answers is B. Sark. The Sark is a historic clipper ship, one of the last and fastest tea clippers built in the century. Now a museum ship in Greenwich, London, it represents the era of sail and global trade. Question 61. What is the meaning of the term Commonwealth in the context of the A political party, B. A voluntary association of 56 independent, most with historical links to the British Empire, C. A financial alliance, D. A type of local government. Answers is B. A voluntary association of 56 independent, most with historical links to the British Empire. The Commonwealth is a political association of 56 member states, most of which are former of the British Empire. It works towards shared goals of democracy, development, and peace. Question 62. Which famous Scottish poet wrote Old Sign? A. Sir Walter Scott, B. Robert Burns, C. Robert Louis, D. Lord. Answers is B. Robert Burns. Robert Burns is Scotland's national poet, and Old Sign is one of his most famous works, traditionally sung at Hogmanay New Year's Eve in Scotland and around the world. Question 63. What is the name of the legislative chamber in Wales? A. The Welsh Assembly, B. Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament, C. The Cardiff Council, D. The House of Welsh. Answers is B. Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament. Senedd Cymru, or the Welsh Parliament, is the devolved legislature of Wales. It has the power to make laws on a range of matters relevant to Wales, such as education, health, and agriculture. Question 64. Which architectural style is prominent in many medieval cathedrals across the A. Art Deco, B. Gothic, C. Baroque, D. Neoclassical? Answers is B. Gothic. Gothic architecture, by pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and flying buttresses, was dominant in Europe during the High and Late Middle Ages. Many of the famous cathedrals, such as Canterbury and York Minster, are built in this style. Question 65. What is the role of the Privy Council in the A. to scrutinise government spending, B. to advise the monarch on official matters, C. to represent local government interests, D. to manage the royal finances? Answers is B. to advise the monarch on official matters. The Privy Council is a formal body of advisors to the monarch. In practice, its main function is to give legal effect to orders made by the, which are usually government decisions that do not require an Act of Parliament. Question 66. Which major English city is famous for its historical university and punt boats on the River Cam? A. Oxford, B. Cambridge, C. Bristol, D. York? Answers is B. Cambridge. Cambridge, home to the prestigious University of Cambridge, is renowned for its beautiful historic colleges and the tradition of punting on the River Cam. It is a major centre for education and technology. Question 67. Who was the founder of the National Health Service? A. Churchill, B. C. Clement, D. Harold Wilson? Answers is B. As Minister of Health in the Labour government, was the driving force behind the creation of the National Health Service in 1948, fulfilling a promise for universal healthcare. Question 68. What is a by-election in the context of politics? A. An election for a new Prime Minister. B. An election to fill a vacant seat in the House of Commons between general elections. C. An election for local councillors. D. A referendum on a specific issue. Answers is B. An election to fill a vacant seat in the House of Commons between general elections. A by-election occurs when a seat in the House of Commons becomes vacant before a general election, e.g., due to resignation or death of an. Only the voters in that specific constituency participate. Question 69. Which historical period in Britain is known for its Gothic architecture, feudal system, and crusades? A. The Roman era, B. The Middle Ages, C. The Victorian era, D. The Georgian era? Answers is B. The Middle Ages. The Middle Ages, roughly to in Britain, were by feudalism, the dominance of the church, the building of great castles and cathedrals, and involvement in the Crusades. Question 70. What is the collective term for the four nations of the United Kingdom? A. The British, B. Great Britain and Northern Ireland, C. The United Kingdoms, D. The Home Nations? Answers is B. Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The United Kingdom is made up of four constituent: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Great Britain refers to the island containing England, Scotland, and Wales. Question 71. Which major scientific discovery is attributed to Sir Isaac Newton? A. The theory of relativity, B. The laws of motion and universal gravitation, C. The structure of, D. The discovery of penicillin? Answers is B. The laws of motion and universal gravitation. Sir Isaac Newton, an English physicist and mathematician, the laws of motion and universal gravitation, which laid the foundation for classical mechanics and scientific thought for. Question 72. Which year saw the end of the First World War? A. 1914, B. 1916, C. 1918, D. 1919. Answers is C. 1918. The First World War ended on 11 November 1918, when an armistice was signed. This date is annually in the as Remembrance Day. Question 73. What is the famous national sport of Scotland? A. Football, B. Golf, C. Shinty, D. Rugby. Answers is B. Golf. Golf is widely regarded as Scotland's national sport, with its origins tracing back to the century. The old course at Andrews is considered the home of golf. Question 74. What is the traditional morning meal consisting of eggs, bacon, sausage, and toast in the A. Brunch, B. Full English breakfast, C. Continental breakfast, D. Sunday lunch? Answers is B. Full English breakfast. The full English breakfast is a traditional and hearty cooked breakfast that includes fried eggs, bacon, sausages, baked beans, fried bread, and sometimes black pudding and mushrooms. Question 75. What is the name of the agreement signed in 1998 that brought relative peace to Northern Ireland? A. The Anglo-Irish Treaty, B. The Good Friday Agreement, Belfast Agreement, C. The Treaty of Union, D. The Act of Settlement. Answers is B. The Good Friday Agreement, Belfast Agreement. The Good Friday Agreement, also known as the Belfast Agreement, signed in 1998, was a landmark peace agreement that aimed to end the conflict in Northern Ireland, the Troubles, by establishing a government. Question 76. Who is the monarch in British history? A. Queen Victoria, B. Queen Elizabeth, C. King George, D. King Henry. Answers is B. Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth reigned for 70 years and 214 days, from 1952 to 2022, making her the British monarch and the female head of state in history. Question 77. Which iconic clock tower is part of the Palace of Westminster? A. The Gherkin, B. Big Ben Elizabeth Tower, C. The Shard, D. Canary Wharf Tower. Answers is B. Big Ben Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben is the nickname for the great bell of the clock at the north end of the Palace of Westminster, though it is often used to refer to the Elizabeth Tower itself. It is one of London's most famous landmarks. Question 78. What is the official flower of Northern Ireland? A. Rose, B. Shamrock, C. Thistle, D. Daffodil. Answers is B. Shamrock. The shamrock, a clover, is the unofficial national plant and a symbol of Northern Ireland and Ireland. It is associated with Saint, the patron saint. Question 79. Which British social reformer campaigned for better conditions in hospitals and nursing during the Crimean War? A. Elizabeth Fry, B. Florence Nightingale, C. Mary, D. Pankhurst. Answers is B. Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale, known as the Lady with the Lamp, was a pioneering nurse and social reformer. Her work during the Crimean War significantly improved hospital sanitation and professionalized nursing, making her a national hero. Question 80. What is the name of the traditional Welsh celebration of literature, music and performance? A. Burns Night, B. Eisteddfod, C. Hogmanay, D. Tartan Day. Answers is B. Eisteddfod. The Eisteddfod is a Welsh festival of literature, music and performance. The National Eisteddfod of Wales is an annual event that celebrates Welsh culture and the Welsh language. Question 81. Who was the Roman emperor who ordered the building of a wall across northern Britain? A. Julius Caesar, B. Hadrian, C. Augustus, D. Nero. Answers is B. Hadrian. Hadrian's wall was commissioned by the Roman Emperor Hadrian in 122 AD as a defensive fortification in the Roman province of Britannia. It marked the northern limit of the Roman Empire for much of its history. Question 82. Which King of England was forced to sign Magna? A. Edward I, B. John, C. Richard I, D. Henry. Answers is B. John. King John was by his rebellious barons into signing Magna at Runnymede in 1215. This document is a foundational piece of English common law and has legal systems worldwide. Question 83. What was the name of the period when there was no king in England after Charles I's execution? A. The Restoration, B. The Commonwealth or Interregnum, C. The Protectorate, D. The Regency. Answers is B. The Commonwealth or Interregnum. Following the execution of King Charles I in 1649, England became a republic known as the Commonwealth of England, which later became the Commonwealth of England, Scotland and Ireland under Oliver as Lord Protector. This period is also called the Interregnum. Question 84. Which queen ruled Britain for over 63 years during a period of great industrial expansion and imperial power? A. Elizabeth I, B. Victoria, C. Elizabeth, D. Mary, Queen of Scots. Answers is B. Victoria. Queen Victoria reigned from 1837 to 1901, a period known as the Victorian era. Her reign saw significant social, economic and technological changes, as well as the expansion of the British Empire. Question 85. What is the name of the Parliament in Scotland? A. The Scottish Assembly, B. The Scottish Parliament Holyrood, C. The Edinburgh Council, D. The Scottish Houses of Lords. Answers is B. The Scottish Parliament Holyrood. The Scottish Parliament at Holyrood in Edinburgh is the devolved national legislature of Scotland. It has the power to legislate on a wide range of matters, including education, health and justice. Question 86. Which major river forms part of the border between England and Scotland? A. River Severn, B. River Tweed, C. River Tyne, D. River Dee. Answers is B. River Tweed. The River Tweed is a significant river in the Scottish borders and Northumberland. For its lower 17 miles, it forms the traditional boundary between Scotland and England. Question 87. What is the responsibility of citizens regarding local services? A. To run local council meetings. B. To use local services responsibly and report problems. C. To pay for all local services directly. D. to clean public areas personally. Answers is B. To use local services responsibly and report problems. Have a responsibility to use local services responsibly, for example, by disposing of litter correctly, recycling, and reporting issues like antisocial behavior or damaged public property to the relevant. Question 88. Which British scientist is credited with discovering penicillin? A. James Watson, B. Alexander Fleming, C. Franklin, D. Francis Crick. Answers is B. Alexander Fleming. Sir Alexander Fleming, a Scottish physician and microbiologist, discovered penicillin in 1928, a discovery that revolutionized medicine and saved millions of lives by introducing the era of antibiotics. Question 89. Which city is the capital of Scotland? A. Glasgow, B. Edinburgh, C. Aberdeen, D. Dundee. Answers is B. Edinburgh. Edinburgh is the capital city of Scotland, known for its historic castle, vibrant art scene including the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, and beautiful Old Town and New Town, both UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Question 90. What is the main role of the Prime Minister's cabinet? A. To organise royal events, B. To make key government policy decisions, C. To oversee judicial appointments, D. To approve all parliamentary bills. Answers is B. To make key government policy decisions. The cabinet, composed of senior government ministers and chaired by the Prime Minister, is the main decision-making body of the government. It approves major policy initiatives. Question 91. Which British institution holds the crown? A. Palace, B. The Tower of London, C. Westminster Abbey, D. Windsor Castle. Answers is B. The Tower of London. The crown are stored and displayed at the Tower of London. They are a collection of ceremonial objects used by British monarchs, including crowns, sceptres, and orbs. Question 92. What is the traditional name for the day when people play pranks and hoaxes on April? A. Pancake Day, B. April Fool's Day, C. Guy Night, D. Valentine's Day. Answers is B. April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day is an annual custom on April, where people traditionally play practical jokes or hoaxes on each other. The jokes are usually revealed by shouting April Fool. Question 93. Which British author the character of Sherlock Holmes? A. Christie, B. Arthur, C. J.K., D. Fleming. Answers is B. Arthur. Sir Arthur, a Scottish writer, is best known for his detective fiction featuring Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, which are considered milestones in the crime fiction genre. Question 94. What is the highest mountain in Scotland and the A. Mount Snowdon, B. Ben Nevis, C. Pike, D. Answers is B. Ben Nevis. Ben Nevis in the Scottish Highlands is the highest mountain in Scotland and in the entire United Kingdom. It is a popular destination for climbers and walkers. Question 95. What is Hogmanay in Scotland? A summer festival, B. The Scottish New Year's Eve celebration, C. A traditional Scottish dance, D. A national day of mourning. Answers is B, the Scottish New Year's Eve celebration. Hogmanay is the Scottish celebration of New Year's Eve, traditionally a more significant holiday than Christmas in Scotland. It is known for its festive customs, including firstfooting. Question 96. What type of legal system does England and Wales primarily use? A. Civil law, B. Common law, C. Sharia law, D. Code. Answers is B. Common law. England and Wales operate under a common law system, where law is developed by judges through decisions of courts and similar tribunals, rather than through legislative statutes or executive action alone. Scotland uses a mixed legal system. Question 97. Who was the first person to sail around the world, though he died before completing the full circumnavigation? A. Christopher Columbus, B. Ferdinand Magellan his expeditionate, C. D. Captain Cook. Answers is B. Ferdinand Magellan his expeditionate. Ferdinand Magellan was a Portuguese explorer who organized the Spanish expedition to the east from 1519 to 1522, resulting in the first circumnavigation of the Earth. Magellan himself was killed in the Philippines, but his crew the journey. Question 98. What is the historical significance of Greenwich Mean Time? A. It's the time zone of the king's residence. B. It was historically the international standard for time zones. C. It regulates British financial markets. D. It is the time for all parliamentary debates. Answers is B. It was historically the international standard for time zones. Greenwich Mean Time was historically the international standard for time. It is based on the prime meridian, which passes through the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, London. While by Coordinated Universal Time, it remains culturally significant. Question 99. Which British engineer is famous for designing the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol and the Great Western Railway? A. George, B. Kingdom, C. James Watt, D. Thomas Telford. Answers is B. Kingdom. Kingdom was a visionary engineer of the Victorian era. His achievements include the construction of numerous bridges, tunnels and steamships, and his Great Western Railway connected London to Bristol and beyond. Question 100. What is the name given to the widespread public worship of pop music groups particularly the Beatles? A. Rockmania, B. Beatlemania, C. Pop frenzy, D. Music adoration. Answers is B. Beatlemania. Beatlemania was the intense craze for the Beatles, particularly between 1963 and 1966. This phenomenon of overwhelming fan adoration and hysteria and spread globally. Question 101. What is the traditional British custom of firstfooting on New Year's Day? A. Singing carols on doorsteps. B. Being the first person to cross a threshold after midnight, bringing gifts for good luck. C. Planting a tree to mark the new year. D. Running into cold water at dawn. Answers is B. Being the first person to cross a threshold after midnight, bringing gifts for good luck. Is a Scottish and Northern English tradition where the first person to enter a house after midnight on New Year's Day is to bring good luck for the coming year. Traditionally, a tall man is preferred, bringing gifts like coal, shortbread, or whiskey. Question 102. Which major event in 1956 led to a reassessment of Britain's global role and its relationship with the US? A. The war, B. The Suez Crisis, C. The withdrawal from India, D. Joining the Answers is B. The Suez Crisis. The Suez Crisis of 1956, when Britain, France, and Israel invaded Egypt following the nationalization of the Suez Canal, exposed Britain's diminished global power and its increasing reliance on the United States. It marked a turning point in British history. Question 103. What is the main purpose of local councils in the A. To manage national defence, B. To provide public services to local, C. To set national tax rates, D. To legislate on international? Answers is B. To provide public services to local. Local councils are responsible for providing a wide range of public services to their local, including education, housing, waste collection, social care, planning, and maintaining local roads and parks. Question 104. Which British physicist and cosmologist was known for his work on black holes and general relativity? A. Albert Einstein, B. Stephen Hawking, C. Cox, D. Carl Sagan. Answers is B. Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking was a renowned British theoretical physicist and cosmologist. His significant contributions to science included work on black holes, the origins of the universe, and gravitational. Question 105. What is the national flower of Wales? A. Rose, B. Daffodil, C. Thistle, D. Shamrock. Answers is B. Daffodil. The daffodil is the national flower of Wales, traditionally worn on David's Day March. The leek is also a national emblem, often worn instead of or alongside the daffodil. Question 106. What is the name of the ancient monument in Wiltshire, famous for its ring of standing stones? A. Hadrian's Wall, B. Stonehenge, C. The Angel of the North, D. Iron Bridge. Answers is B. Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument in Wiltshire, England, consisting of a ring of standing stones. It was built between 3000 and 2000, and its purpose is still debated, but it is a major archaeological site. Question 107. Who was the first female Prime Minister of the A. May, B. Thatcher, C. D. Truss? Answers is B. Thatcher. Thatcher served as Prime Minister from 1979 to 1990, becoming the first woman to hold the office. Her tenure saw significant economic and social reforms. Question 108. Which British author wrote the Harry Potter series? A. Dahl, B. J.K., C. C.S. Lewis, D. Enid. Answers is B. J.K. J.K. is the British author who the incredibly popular Harry Potter fantasy series, which has sold over 500 million worldwide and been adapted into highly successful films. Question 109. What is the name of the British flag? A. The Royal Standard, B. The Union Flag or Union Jack, C. The George's Cross, D. The Scottish Saltire. Answers is B. The Union Flag or Union Jack. The national flag of the United Kingdom is the Union Flag, commonly known as the Union Jack. It combines the patron saint crosses of England George, Scotland Andrew, and Northern Ireland. Question 110. What is the traditional name for the period of public holidays around Easter? A. Spring break, B. Easter bank holiday weekend, C. Lent, D. May Day. Answers is B. Easter Bank Holiday Weekend. The Easter Bank Holiday Weekend includes Good Friday and Easter Monday, providing a weekend for many. It is a time for religious observance, family gatherings, and typically marks the start of spring. Question 111. Which Scottish scientist is credited with developing the first practical telephone? A. James Clerk Maxwell, B. Alexander Graham Bell, C. Lord Kelvin, D. John. Answers is B. Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell was an inventor, scientist, and engineer who is credited with patenting the first practical telephone and founding the American Telephone and Telegraph Company. Question 112. What is the general name for an elected member of the House of Commons? A. Lord, B. Member of Parliament, C. Councillor, D. Senator. Answers is B. Member of Parliament. Members of Parliament are elected by the public in general elections to represent their local in the House of Commons. They hold the government accountable and participate in. Question 113. Which British historical event involved an attempt to blow up the Houses of Parliament in 1605? A. The English Civil War, B. The Gunpowder Plot, C. The Great Fire of London, D. The Glorious Revolution. Answers is B. The Gunpowder Plot. The Gunpowder Plot was a failed attempt by a group of English Catholics, including Guy, to assassinate King James I and blow up the Houses of Parliament on November 5, 1605. It is still annually with bonfires and fireworks. Question 114. Which famous children's author wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Matilda? A. Beatrix Potter, B. Dahl, C. Lewis, D. A. Answers is B. Dahl. Dahl was a British novelist, short story writer, poet, and screenwriter of Norwegian descent. His beloved children's books, including Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda and Thee, are celebrated worldwide. Question 115. What is the significance of the poppy on Remembrance Day? A. It represents peace and new beginnings. B. It commemorates military personnel who died in war. C. It symbolizes the hope for future prosperity. D. It celebrates victory in battle. Answers is B. It commemorates military personnel who died in war. The poppy is worn on Remembrance Day, November, to commemorate military personnel who have died in war. It was inspired by that grew on the battlefields of Flanders during World War I. Question 116. Which major English city is famous for its historical Roman baths? A. York, B. Bath, C. Chester, D. Lincoln. Answers is B. Bath. The city of Bath, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is renowned for its Roman baths complex, which dates back to Roman Britain. The natural hot springs were a major attraction for the Romans. Question 117. What is the name of the process by which the monarch approves the dissolution of Parliament before a general election? A. Royal Order, B. Royal Proclamation, C. Parliamentary Writ, D. State Decree. Answers is B. Royal Proclamation. A royal proclamation is formally issued by the monarch, on the advice of the Prime Minister, to dissolve Parliament and call for a new general election. This is a constitutional formality. Question 118. What is the capital city of Wales? A. Swansea, B. Cardiff, C. Newport, D. Answers is B. Cardiff. Cardiff is the capital and largest city of Wales. It is a major centre for business, education and culture, and is home to the Welsh Parliament building, the Senedd. Question 119. Which British cultural icon is known for his silent films and distinctive tramp character? A. B. Charlie Chaplin, C. Alfred Hitchcock, D. Peter Sellers. Answers is B. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, a British comedian, filmmaker and composer, rose to fame in the era of silent film. His character, the Tramp, became one of the most iconic figures in cinematic history. Question 120. What is the national flower of Scotland? A. Rose, B. Thistle, C. Daffodil, D. Shamrock. Answers is B. Thistle. The thistle is the national emblem of Scotland. Legend says it saved a sleeping party of Scots warriors from an invading Norse army, as a Norseman trod on a thistle and cried out in pain, alerting the Scots. Question 121. Which major event took place in Britain from 1926 involving widespread strikes by workers? A. The March, B. The General Strike, C. The Miners' Strike, D. The Peterloo Massacre. Answers is B. The General Strike. The General Strike of 1926 was a widespread industrial dispute that lasted for 9 days. It involved workers across various striking in support of coal miners, highlighting class tensions and economic hardships of the time. Question 122. What is the role of the monarch in appointing the Prime Minister? A. To choose any suitable candidate. B. To formally invite the leader of the political party with the most seats in the House of Commons. C. To appoint the person chosen by the outgoing Prime Minister. D. To consult with the House of Lords for a candidate. Answers is B. To formally invite the leader of the political party with the most seats in the House of Commons. The monarch's role in appointing the Prime Minister is largely ceremonial. By constitutional convention, the monarch invites the individual who is most likely to command the confidence of the House of Commons, which is typically the leader of the largest party after a general election. Question 123. Which city is famous for its annual Fringe Festival, a major arts and comedy event? A. London, B. Edinburgh, C. Glasgow, D. Brighton. Answers is B. Edinburgh. The Edinburgh Festival Fringe is the world's largest arts festival, taking place annually in August. It is a festival where anyone can perform, featuring thousands of shows in theatre, comedy, music, dance and more. Question 124. What is the primary role of the Speaker of the House of Commons? A. To lead the government. B. To preside over debates and maintain order in the House of Commons. C. To represent the monarch in Parliament. D. To propose new laws. Answers is B. To preside over debates and maintain order in the House of Commons. The Speaker of the House of Commons is one who has been elected by others to act as the chief officer and highest authority of the House of Commons. The Speaker's role is to chair debates, keep order and ensure fair play. Question 125. Which major scientific innovation was developed in Britain and introduced during the Industrial Revolution, significantly improving textile production? A. The printing press. B. the spinning jenny, C. the telegraph, D. the steam locomotive. Answers is B. the spinning jenny. The spinning jenny, invented by James in 1764, was a spinning frame that significantly increased the production capacity of yarn. It was a key invention of the early Industrial Revolution, especially for the textile industry. Question 126. What is the name of the traditional Scottish garment worn by men? A. tartan, B. kilt, C. sparran, D. brogues. Answers is B. kilt. The kilt is a garment with pleats at the rear, originating in the traditional dress of Gaelic men and boys in the Scottish Highlands. It is often worn with a sparran, a small pouch. Question 127. Which British general is famous for his victory against the French in the Peninsular War and at Waterloo? A. Lord Raglan, B. Duke of Wellington, C. Lord Nelson, D. Field Marshal Montgomery. Answers is B. Duke of Wellington. Arthur Wellesley, the Duke of Wellington, was a leading military and political figure. He is best known for his victory over Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, and for his campaigns during the Peninsular War. Question 128. What is the main role of the independent judiciary in the A. to advise the government on policy, B. to interpret and apply the law impartially, C. to create new laws, D. to administer local government? Answers is B. to interpret and apply the law impartially. The judiciary in the is independent of the government and parliament. Its main role is to interpret and apply the law fairly and impartially, ensuring justice is served and upholding the rule of law. Question 129. Which British historical period is known for exploration, colonization, and the rise of the British Empire? A. the Roman occupation, B. the Age of Empire roughly, C. the Anglo-Saxon period, D. the Tudor era. Answers is B. the Age of Empire roughly. The Age of Empire, spanning roughly from the to the, saw Britain become a dominant global power through extensive exploration, trade, and colonization, establishing the British Empire. Question 130. What is the capital city of Northern Ireland? A. B. Belfast, C. D. Armagh. Answers is B. Belfast. Belfast is the capital and largest city of Northern Ireland. It is a major port city and a centre for industry, arts and higher education. The Northern Ireland Assembly is in Belfast. Question 131. Which major sporting event is held annually on the River Thames between Oxford and Cambridge? A. the Henley Regatta, B. the boat race, C. the Head of the River race, D. the Thames Estuary race. Answers is B. the boat race. The boat race is an annual rowing race between the Oxford University Boat Club and the Cambridge University Boat Club, rowed on the River Thames in London. It is a traditional event that attracts large crowds. Question 132. Which British author wrote Frankenstein? A. Mary Shelley, B. Mary Shelley, C. Jane D. Answers is B. Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley was an English novelist who wrote the Gothic novel Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus 1818, A seminal work in the horror and science fiction genres. Question 133. What is the primary way the government raises money to pay for public services? A. Foreign aid, B. Taxation, C. Selling state assets, D. Lotteries. Answers is B. Taxation. Taxation is the main source of revenue for the government, funding public services such as the education, welfare, and defense. Income tax, national insurance, and value-added tax VAT are key components. Question 134. Which British cultural tradition involves performing short plays and pantomimes during the Christmas season? A. Shakespearean plays, B. Pantomime, C. D. Opera. Answers is B. Pantomime. Pantomime, often shortened to panto, is a traditional British form of musical comedy stage entertainment, particularly popular during the Christmas and New Year season. It's known for audience participation, slapstick, and cross-dressing performers. Question 135. What is the term for the rights and freedoms guaranteed to all individuals in the, such as freedom of speech? A. Civic, B. Human rights, C. Royal prerogatives, D. Local ordinances. Answers is B. Human rights. Human rights are fundamental rights and freedoms that all people are entitled to simply because they are human. These are largely protected by the Human Rights Act 1998, which incorporates the European Convention on Human Rights into law. Question 136. Which major English city is famous for its historical connection to the Roman Empire and its walls? A. London, B. York, C. Manchester, D. Canterbury. Answers is B. York. York was founded by the Romans in 71 AD and served as a major military base. Its city walls, dating back to Roman, Viking, and medieval times, are among the most complete in England and a popular tourist attraction. Question 137. Who was the last monarch of the House of Stuart? A. Charles, B. Queen Anne, C. James, D. William. Answers is B. Queen Anne. Queen Anne, who reigned from 1702 to 1714, was the last monarch of the House of Stuart. During her reign, the Acts of Union 1707 united the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of Scotland into a single Kingdom of Great Britain. Question 138. Which famous Scottish building is a medieval fortress and royal residence in Edinburgh? A. Balmoral Castle, B. Edinburgh Castle, C. Stirling Castle, D. Castle. Answers is B. Edinburgh Castle. Edinburgh Castle is a historic fortress dominating the skyline of Edinburgh, Scotland. It has served as a royal residence, military garrison and prison, playing a central role in Scottish history. Question 139. What is the name of the British organisation that protects and promotes historic buildings and spaces? A. The British Museum, B. The National Trust and English Heritage, C. The Royal Parks, D. The Houses of Parliament. Answers is B. The National Trust and English Heritage. The National Trust, covering England, Wales, and Northern Ireland and English heritage, are prominent dedicated to preserving and opening to the public historic places and natural spaces for present and future generations. Question 140. What is the role of the monarch during a time of national crisis or celebration? A. To take direct control of the armed forces. B. To provide a sense of continuity and stability. C. To declare martial law. D. To suspend Parliament. Answers is B. To provide a sense of continuity and stability. The monarch, as head of state, plays a crucial role in providing a sense of national unity, continuity and stability during times of crisis or celebration. They often deliver messages of reassurance or participate in commemorative events. Question 141. Which British rock band is famous for hits like Bohemian Rhapsody and We Will Rock You? A. The Rolling Stones. B. Queen. C. Led Zeppelin. D. The Beatles. Answers is B. Queen. Queen, fronted by Freddie Mercury, is one of the most iconic and successful British rock bands of all time. Their theatrical performances and diverse musical styles have earned them a place in rock history. Question 142. What is the purpose of the Ombudsman in the public services? A. To represent citizens in court. B. To investigate complaints about government departments and public. C. To offer legal advice to the public. D. To manage elections. Answers is B. To investigate complaints about government departments and public. Are independent officials appointed to investigate complaints from the public about maladministration by government departments, public, or certain private, ensuring fairness and accountability. Question 143. What is the highest point in England? A. Kinder Scout. B. Pike. C. D. Answers is B. Pike. Pike in the Lake District National Park is the highest mountain in England. It is a popular destination for hikers and climbers, offering challenging routes and panoramic views. Question 144. Which historical figure led the first successful circumnavigation of the world though he died en route? A. Sir Francis Drake. B. Ferdinand Magellan. C. Captain Cook. D. De. Answers is B. Ferdinand Magellan. Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer, led the first expedition to circumnavigate the Earth. Although he died in the Philippines, his crew the journey, proving the Earth was round. Question 145. What is the traditional British custom of bonfire night or Guy night? A. Celebrating Christmas. B. Commemorating the failure of the gunpowder plot with bonfires and fireworks. C. A harvest festival. D. A remembrance for fallen soldiers. Answers is B. Commemorating the failure of the gunpowder plot with bonfires and fireworks. Bonfire Night on November commemorates the failed gunpowder plot of 1605, when Guy and his attempted to blow up the Houses of Parliament. It is celebrated with bonfires, fireworks, and of Guy. Question 146. Which British scientist is famous for inventing the World Wide Web? A. Alan. B. Tim. C. Charles. D. Ada. Answers is B. Tim. Sir Tim is a British computer scientist credited with inventing the World Wide Web in 1989 while working at CERN. His invention revolutionized communication and access to information globally. Question 147. What is the meaning of due process in the legal system? A. The right to a speedy trial only. B. The right to fair treatment through the normal judicial system. C. The right to choose your judge. D. The right to ignore legal summons. Answers is B. The right to fair treatment through the normal judicial system. Due process is a fundamental legal principle in the that ensures fair treatment through the normal judicial system, particularly as a citizen's entitlement. It means that everyone has the right to a fair trial, to be heard, and to have their rights respected. Question 148. Which British landmark is a prehistoric monument, aligned with the rising sun on the summer solstice? A. Hadrian's Wall, B. Stonehenge, C. Avebury, D. Maiden Castle. Answers is B. Stonehenge. Stonehenge is famously aligned with the summer and winter solstices. Thousands gather there each year to witness the sunrise on the summer solstice, when the sun rises directly over the heel stone. Question 149. What is the traditional Scottish festival celebrating the life and poetry of Robert Burns? A. Hogmanay, B. Burns Night, C. Andrew's Day, D. Up Helly Awe. Answers is B. Burns Night. Burns Night is an annual celebration of the life and poetry of the Scottish poet Robert Burns, held on or around his birthday, 25 January. It typically involves a Burns supper with haggis, whiskey, and readings of his poetry. Question 150. Which major event led to the abdication of King Edward in 1936? A. The outbreak of B. His desire to marry American Simpson. C. A major political scandal. D. Public opposition to his. Answers is B. His desire to marry American Simpson. King Edward dethroned in 1936 to marry Simpson, an American. Both the government and the Church of England opposed the marriage, leading to a constitutional crisis and his decision to step down, becoming the only British monarch to voluntarily abdicate.